It wasn't clean sailing, and oh boy was that a nervy finish. But 2 early Eddie Nketiah goals was just enough for Arsenal to take a gargantuan step closer to the Champions League. But what did we learn from this game? How important was the role of Takehiro Tomiyasu? And did we see Mikel Arteta tweak the Arsenal formation? Well, don't forget to smash a like if you enjoyed the video and subscribe if you are new. But here are the 5 things that we learnt from Arsenal 2, Leeds United 1. 1. Tomiyasu, the Swiss Army knife. In this game, we saw the first start for Takehiro Tomiyasu at the Emirates Stadium since the first day of the brand new year versus Man City, and he was asked to play in a brand new position, playing as a left back. And I can understand why, because in terms of the last game, Nuno Tavares was pretty poor against West Ham, and I just think Arteta went for trust over experience in terms of Cedric and Tomiyasu over the inexperience of Nuno Tavares. But in his first Emirates start in so long, playing in a brand new position, was Tomiyasu phased by it? Of course he was not. Left foot, right foot, ambidextrous, 5-star week for FC, we saw Tomiyasu excel as the inverted left back, and he was key in so many different phases of play. Defensively up against Leeds' best player in Rafinha, there's not a single moment that stands out in the game with Rafinha attacking Arsenal, and that's because of how good Tomiyasu was defensively, but also the importance of Tomiyasu in the build-up phase. So secure on both feet, left foot, right foot. Leeds are a pressing team. They tried to press Tomiyasu, but because of how good this guy is on both feet, the fact that he's ambidextrous, no matter what angle you press Tomiyasu towards, he's able to play out of that, and that is almost a secret weapon that Arteta has tactically, on top of the fact that he is basically a perfect inverted fullback. In that first half particular, we also saw Tomiyasu involved quite a bit in the attacking phase in the final third, and this stat sums it up that Tomiyasu made more final third passes than any other player on the pitch against Leeds, completing 40 out of 40 final third passes, 100% passing accuracy. That is for you, Takehiro Tomiyasu, in Mikel Arteta's eyes, the ultimate tactical weapon. But Tomiyasu being that perfect inverted fullback also allowed for Gabriel Martinelli to excel, and as the stats show, an 85% passing accuracy, 54 touches, 28 passes in that final third, 8 duels won, 8 touches in the opposition box, 4 shots, 3 crosses, 3 fouls won, 3 take-ons, 2 shots on target, 2 chances created, and also 1 assist, his 5th of the Premier League season. The key here is the fact that he was allowed to play as a touchline winger, creating situations of isolation where he thrives the most 1v1, and is actually a key reason to why we got Luke Ayling sent off in the first half as well. But to allow Martinelli to play as that touchline winger, the most important part is Takehiro Tomiyasu, where at times Tomiyasu was playing as Arsenal's player in that final third as Arsenal's inverted 10 in the 4-3-3, and that tactic from Arteta to play him there and just having his presence there alone caused Leeds issues, because having an extra player in that final third means Leeds have more things to think about, giving the likes of Gabriel Martinelli and Xhaka far more time on the ball to hurt Leeds and cause them more issues. This game in many ways summed up Takehiro Tomiyasu. He is the Arsenal Swiss Army knife, but does he start as Arsenal's left back in our next game against Spurs at their ground? Because yes, they've got Kulusevski as their right winger, but on the left hand side they have Heung-min Son. So will Mikel Arteta throw Tomiyasu back to the right hand side, or will he keep him as a left back? My friends, talk to me down below in the comments. Do you think Tomiyasu should start as Arsenal's left back against Spurs on Thursday? 2. Arteta brings back the 4-3-3, with Tomiyasu coming into the Arsenal team as the inverted fullback. It allowed Mikel Arteta to go back into the 4-3-3, moving Xhaka high up the pitch, playing El Neni as a lone 6, and having Martin Odegaard completing the midfield 3. And in terms of Xhaka's stats, winning 100% of his tackles, completing 7 out of 7 long balls, completing 100% of his take-ons, 100% shot accuracy, and an 88% passing accuracy. With Xhaka picking and choosing what times to enter that final third. Sometimes he'd be in the final third attacking the box, but sometimes he'd drop down in the build-up phase, allowing Tomiyasu to occupy the half space instead. But that combination of Tomiyasu and Xhaka allowed for Martinelli to work his magic on the left-hand side as well. But as great as that left-hand side was, let's also not forget the importance of the lone number 6 in this game, Mohamed El Neni, completing 79 out of 81 passes and 97.5% passing accuracy, with 97.8% of that passing accuracy being in the opposition half, 6 recoveries, 2 tackles, 1 clearance and 1 interception. For a 4-3-3 to operate fantastically, the number 6 has to be on his job, and that today was Mohamed El Neni. He gave Arsenal the ball security security in that final third. Elneny had that in abundance with a 97% passing accuracy. But also in terms of ball recoveries, 6 ball recoveries, it indicates that in that final third when Arsenal tried to sustain pressure, Elneny was fantastic in terms of winning that ball back. And this 4-3-3, even though some fans prefer the 4-2-3-1, it does get the best out of players like Martin Odegaard, who today was outstanding, mesmeric at times, the flicks, the tricks, the composure in that final third. But also in terms of Gabriel Martinelli playing as that touchline winger, him playing in a 4-2-3-1 as a pseudo number 10 inside, it doesn't suit him, but him playing as that touchline isolation winger out wide is where he thrives the most. But even though that 4-3-3 worked today, what about the game on Thursday? Because Spurs have showed against the games against Liverpool and Man City, up against teams that play 4-3-3, there's a lot of space in behind and teams have to play a high line. With players like Heung-min Son and Harry Kane, they have the ability to capitalise against those type of teams. And it poses the question towards Mikel Arteta of will he move into the 4 or 5 at the back hybrid, the exact same formation that we saw at Stamford Bridge. But could that 5 in the back include Benjamin White? Well, Arteta says after the game, I think he might be available against Tottenham. He's starting to do a little bit of work on the pitch. We want everyone to be available. Now, if Ben White is fit and available, of course, you could play Ben White as that inverted right back and have TOMIYASU stay as an inverted left back. But what formation do you guys want to see Mikel Arteta employ on the game on Thursday? Shall we stick to the 4-3-3 or should Mikel Arteta completely adapt and go to a back 5 for that specific game? 3. The effect of a mobile striker. 2 weeks ago, we saw Eddie Nketiah talk the talk on a podcast, where he essentially said he wanted to play more first team Arsenal minutes. But since that podcast, let's just say Nketiah has certainly walked the walk. Not only did he score 2 goals today, but for me this was his 4th consecutive outstanding performance. A 93% passing accuracy, 30 touches, 8 touches in the opposition box, 6 duels won, 5 shots, 3 fouls won, 2 shots on target and 2 goals as well, the match winner. In the first goal we saw the desire of Eddie Nketiah, the pressing. Meslier took a heavy touch, Nketiah saw the opportunity and he showed us that he is an opportunist, chasing the goalkeeper down and putting the ball into the back of the net. That goal should give Arsenal fans a glimpse to the future of what Arsenal might look like with a proper mobile striker going into next season. But in terms of that second goal, it was so good in so many aspects. The first thing we see is Nketiah display fantastic build-up play, dropping down deeper, linking up the play, playing simple and effective passes, keeping the Arsenal attack moving. But after showcasing his ability to play as a false 9, he doesn't stop there. He moves into the final third, makes a great run to the box, and after a great bit of play from Arsenal, Martinelli cuts it back, and on his weaker left foot, Nketiah puts in a very decent finish into the back of the net. And that specific cutback opportunity we have seen Arsenal do on quite a few occasions in the past, where our striker was Alexandre Lacazette. But the difference between Lacazette and Nketiah is Nketiah likes to move in the box, and as Mikel Arteta says on Nketiah after the game, he's doing what he's done all season. When he's been on the bench, sitting at home or on the pitch, this boy doesn't change. That's why we adore him and he deserves what is happening to him. And you have to say, over these past 4 or 5 games, Nketiah has shown Arsenal fans what we've been crying out for out of a centre forward, and therefore all the attention now turns to his future at the end of the season. Of course he's going to be out of contract, and after the game Arteta says let him be, let him enjoy the moment and things will happen naturally. 22 years of age now, set to enter the peak of his powers, he has shown Arsenal fans massive signs of improvement and development. But now coming towards the end of his Arsenal contract, do you believe Eddie Nketiah deserves a brand new Arsenal contract? 4. The second half grind. In the first half, Arsenal were class. The press was outstanding, the build-up was outstanding, and we were dominating the game so much that in that first half, forget about a shot on target, Leeds didn't even have a single shot on goal. And even the XG suggests that Arsenal were pretty decent for their win. A 2.85 XG to Leeds' 0.51. The XG favours Arsenal, Leeds had 10 men. Surely this was a comfortable result for Arsenal Football Club. But as you guys that watched the game will know, it was far from comfortable, so nervy towards the end, and it was squeaky bum time. As once Leeds got their first corner of the game, their first attack of the game, of course Leeds would go on to score from the first shot in the game, which took away Arsenal's clean sheet, and that now means that Arsenal have now failed to keep a clean sheet in each of the last 7 Premier League matches. Arsenal tried their best to nullify the game, try to slow the game down, to keep the ball to finish the game off, and when Arteta throwing on Nicolas Pepe and Emile Smith-Rowe, he was trying to kill the game off. But even when Arsenal were given the opportunity, when Meslier was out of his goal in Arsenal's box, Arsenal were able to win the ball back and essentially have an open goal to run towards. The ball fell to Nicolas Pepe and he tried to nutmeg his opponent on the halfway line, losing the ball and essentially giving up a goal in your boy's opinion. And even after the game, as James Bench points out, Pepe was getting a dressing down from Albert Stuivenberg at the full-time whistle. Now that's an entire talking point in its own, but more importantly, Arsenal secured the 3 points. And here's a stat for you guys, that Arsenal have now won 10 Premier League matches in 2022, with only Liverpool with 13 managing more this season. The first half, Arsenal showed the signs of dominance. The pressing was fantastic, the build-up was great. It was what Arsenal fans want to see going into the future. The second half here, and even the performance against West Ham, it showed that this Arsenal team is also able to win games ugly, to show great gamesmanship, to see the games out and to collect the 3 points. But talk to me about yourselves and what are your own thoughts on this Arsenal performance. 5. Match points Arsenal. These last 2 weeks for Arsenal have been testing. Last week Spurs beat Leicester at home convincingly and they set Arsenal a gauntlet, moving above Arsenal into 4th place and Arsenal having a massive game away at West Ham. But despite of that, Arsenal were able to respond, getting the 3 points and moving back into 4th place by 2 points. And this week it was similar, as Spurs went to Anfield and got a point during 1-1 and put in a pretty decent performance, closing the gap to just 1 point and again setting Arsenal the gauntlet. Can you guys get the win and open up the gap when the pressure is on? But just like last week, this Arsenal team responded with all 3 points, and in the process in the top 4 race, moving 1 point behind 3rd place Chelsea and 4 points clear of 5th place Tottenham Hotspur. I don't really care about 3rd place right now, my focus is only on 4th place. Let's get that secured first, and the perfect opportunity is this Thursday, as after opening up a 4-point gap today, Arsenal can now clinch Champions League football for next season with a win at Tottenham on Thursday. It's not quite winning the league at White Hart Lane, but in this current stage of the project, if we were able to secure the Champions League at their ground, project this Arsenal project to the next level, but also putting a dent into Spurs' Antonio Conte project, who have a fantastic manager there and players like Kane and Son, but will they want to be at Spurs if they're not in the Champions League? If there ever was a perfect time to say it, this is a gargantuan game. But in terms of Arsenal's remaining fixtures after Spurs, it's Newcastle away on the Monday night, and on the final day of the season it's Everton at home at the Emirates. For me, those 2 games after Spurs are actually pretty tricky. Newcastle's final home game of the season and Everton are fighting for their lives. So therefore, even though a point on Thursday wouldn't be the worst of results, if Arsenal can just get this over the line, secure Champions League footy mathematically, all the stress and the anxiety of the season disappears like that. We can relax, enjoy, sit back and start listening to the Champions League anthem. Bragging rights on the line, Champions League on the line. How are Arsenal going to respond? My friends, what are your own thoughts, your early predictions going into that game? But that is the video there, so hopefully you guys have enjoyed, and if you have, make sure to go down there, smash a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. If you would like to follow your boy in all of those social medias, then the links will be down below in the description. But that was the 5 things that we learned from Arsenal 2, Leeds United 1. Yes, it was nervy towards the end, but Arsenal collected all 3 points and that is all that matters. Now it's on to Thursday. Match points Arsenal. Can Arsenal secure Champions League football? We are going to have to wait and see. Until then, take care of yourselves and in a bit.